Welcome into the In the Money podcast for Friday, May the 4th. Tom Leach along with Jim Goodman to talk about the Kentucky Oaks Day card. And we will start in the 8th race, which begins pick 4 that includes 3 stakes among the 4 in the sequence. Starts with the Grade 2 Ali Sheba, 4-year-olds and up, going a mile and a 16th. You've got last year's Derby winner, Always Dreaming, in here. Jim, where did you land in the Ali Sheba?
Well, you got to use last year's Derby winner just for sentimental reasons, and I really think that this race sets up well for him. I think he's got the best positional speed. He's drawn inside with a 3-hole. The 2 horses inside him are going to come from way out of it with Hint, and Good Samaritan is going to be well back too. So I think Always Dreaming has this one his own way, unless Backyard Heaven goes with him, the 4-horse. So that's why I like Always Dreaming. He's 3-1 morning line. I doubt if you'll get that. I think a lot of people just don't bet on him because he's a Derby champion returning to Derby weekend, which is pretty cool. But I think he's really a decent 3-1 to me is a bargain price on him. If I could get 3-1, I would bet him straight up win money. You got to use Good Samaritan when we talk about the pick 4, just because he's so consistent. He almost won the Clark last year. The knock against him today is that he's never run a mile and a 16th. He's run a mile and then he went to a mile and an eighth, mile and a quarter. So I think he's much better at longer distances. He won the Jim Dandy at a mile and an eighth. Was very competitive at the Clark at a mile and an eighth on this track. So I think a mile and a 16th might suit Always Dreaming better. Backyard Heaven, the 4-horse for Chad Brown. You always got to look at Chad Brown horse, especially one that's only got 3 wins, three races with a 92, 97, and a 108 buyer. If he runs back to that 108 on March 17th that he ran at Aqueduct, wouldn't run against much. He had a 6-horse field there in a first-level allowance race. But you got to look at those numbers. Jumping up in class to tackle the Derby winner, though, I think might be a little bit much for him. Opportunity, I like Opportunity below. I don't think he's quite the level of these horses. He always runs his race and always gets the money, it seems like. But I think Good Samaritan and Always Dreaming are the top choices here, and that's the way Mike Battaglia has it on the morning line. Always Dreaming is my choice in the Ali Sheba.
My pick is Backyard Heaven at the moment off that 108 buyer, and if it was there are not many trainers I would take this horse even with that big buyer figure, but Chad Brown going from a non-winners of one other than to Grade 2 suggests a lot of confidence. I would say a caveat if you're playing this race, if they really bet heavily on this horse, and I like Good Samaritan for my second slot, so if his price would float up a little bit, then I might change a win bet in this race. But I'm going to go, for the purposes of our discussion, to Backyard Heaven for my win pick. I'm not as high on Always Dreaming. Of course, I never was that high on him. So that may be part of the issue. I like Good Samaritan second, Always Dreaming third, and unlike you, I'm not real high on Opportunity in here, so you definitely have to use them underneath in tickets, but I think I'm safe in leaving him out of multi-race bets. So Backyard Heaven for me. In the 9th, second leg of the pick 4, this is a non-winners of one other than 7 furlongs for 3-year-old fillies. And you've got several lightly raced horses in here. I ended up going to the horse that's the most battle-tested, and that's Upset Brewing. There's a really good field that she ran against at Keeneland last time. Gas Station, Sushi, very impressive winner, and that was a tough bunch. And I also like the Corey Lannery, who loves to win and does so often at Churchill Downs. He's taking the ride here for Buff Bradley, and I don't know that he rides a lot for Buff, so I thought Upset Brewing is where I ended up here. I don't think it'll be a huge upset, but could be a mild upset brewing. Then Electric Forest was a real nice maiden winner for Chad Brown in the Keeneland meet. CP Quality, first-time starter for Donnie Von Hemel. Gary Stevens signs on to ride, and Von Hemel's not a big first-out winner, so the fact that horse won impressively first out caught my eye. Divine Mischief for Joe Sharp. And then Beautiful Street, who ran a very mediocre comeback race, but that was a long layoff for Cassie, and maybe second out off that long layoff could improve. So just out of respect for the barn, I'd throw that one in as well. So 4 is the win pick, but I'll go 5 deep in my pick 4. How about you in the 9th?
Yeah, I'm similar. The two horses that I liked here the best were Upset Brewing, simply because got more experience. One thing she does, though, is she runs second a lot. She's got 10 lifetime starts with 6 seconds and 1 win. So If you really like her to win, you're bucking the odds there because she hasn't been able to get over that hump. So I think she's a great key underneath. I like Electric Forest, the 2 for Chad Brown off a maiden win. And one thing that I really like is that win at Keeneland came out of the 11 hole. So a 3-year-old filly making her very first start at 6.5 furlongs, winning out of the 11 hole, pretty impressive even for Chad Brown. And Ortiz takes a ride back. And one thing you need to look at in her statistics are that wet number, the 423 wet number. That there is a good chance as we record this of being rain on Oaks Day. It's an 80% chance as of right now. And if this filly ran that well on a Keeneland fast track and she's got that good a wet number, she's for real here. And again, like we talk about with Chad Brown, he gets them ready. So I like those 2 the best. I also am going to use Joe Sharp's filly coming out that Fairgrounds easy win down there in Maho Bay, the 5. I'll use Divine Mischief for Joe Sharp coming out of the good effort at Keeneland. And I'll also use Sworn Silence at 10 just because of Brad Cox. Brad Cox seems like he can't lose anymore. And this horse comes from Oaklawn where she didn't run that well, but needed that race after a 2-month layoff. So Castellano takes that ride. So I'm going to go 5 deep as well. But my picks here are Upset Brewing. If it rains, it's going to be Electric Forest.
10th race, the Grade 3 Edgewood on the turf at 1 mile and a 16th for 3-year-old fillies. And Rushing Fall is entered here, and she's also entered against the boys on Saturday. So don't know which way they're leaning with her. So we'll assume for this discussion that she's in, but then also you might give us a thought on if she scratches to run Saturday, who you'd like behind her.
Yeah, I like her a lot. And if she runs here, she's my single in my pick 4s and pick 5s. She won the Appalachian for fun. The only thing I can knock her on is the 11 hole here, but I think she's got enough positional speed where she's going to sit off the pace. And to me, this is an easy spot for her. She may run against the boys on Saturday just because she needs a challenge. But her race at Keeneland, I had some question marks coming off that long layoff for the juvenile turf there where she won, but she looked great and looked easy doing it. So I'm going to take her if she runs. If she doesn't run, I think it's wide open then. I think I'd probably go with Figuerella's Queen for Brad Cox off those 2 wins at Gulfstream. Second one was a real gutsy win. Got Stormy in there and just barely held on. At 1 mile, she stretches out to 1 mile and 16th, but I think she's got a lot of upside. I could make a case for Altea, the French horse, for Chad Brown. I could make a case for Daddy is a Legend for George Weaver. I like Heavenly Love, but she didn't run very well in the Appalachian at all. Had a yielding turf course, which she might get again. Just think she's going to be better on dirt. I don't know that she's a turf filly, even though they've obviously wanted to get her on the turf again. So she's got a lot of back class, so I could throw her in as a long shot. But Figuerella's Queen would be my pick, but Rushing Fall, I hope she runs in this spot because it makes my ticket a lot cheaper.
I am singling either way. Rushing Fall if she runs, and if she doesn't, then I'm singling Daddy is a Legend. I loved this one's race at Keeneland. Horrible start, and then made what looked like was going to be an amazing move to win the race, maybe for a brief second, and then just flattened out as you would expect with that horrible start. So I think this one was primed to run big and had a nice 2-year-old year and didn't get embarrassed by Rushing Fall when running against her. Second off the layoff for George Weaver. So I like that one a lot. And then the ones you mentioned would be the other ones I would use within the race. But I'm going to single Rushing Fall if she runs, and if she scratches, I'm going to single Daddy is a Legend. 11th race, the Grade 1 Kentucky Oaks with the 3-year-old fillies going 1 mile and an 1/8. When I watched the Ashland, I saw the way the race unfolded, and it was just a perfect setup for Monomoy Girl, and she took full advantage of it and looked very impressive winning. But Eskimo Kisses was dead last and way last, way behind the next to last horse, and had to sweep past the whole field. And that's, for 1 mile and a 16th at Keeneland, that's just a kiss of death move. And I thought she ran great to finish strong. I thought she was really running well in the stretch with no chance really to win because of the circumstances. Previous race, she got a bad ride, and now she got Corey Lannery, who rides Churchill as well as anybody. So some bad luck in the last two that kind of disguises her form a little bit, I think. She gets a lot of pace in here, gets more distance. So I said when I watched the Ashland, that's my Oaks pick, and I'm going to stick with her at a big price here. It's a good field, but I'm going to stick with Eskimo Kisses. I like Rhea for Bob Baffert. First time Baffert could move this horse up, and good speed in here. Monomoy Girl and Midnight Bisou are must uses for me in the multi-race wagers too, just how classy those fillies are. But I'm going to go for the upset, swing for the fences with Eskimo Kisses. How about you?
Well, if Rushing Fall does go and I single her, then that gives me some bullets here in this race. And I'm like you. Monomoy Girl looks so impressive at Keeneland. I really love her. I love Giroux on her. I love the Fairgrounds races where she ran the Rachel Alexander where she won so easily. Almost won here on this track in the Goldenrod last year, and that's her only loss. I think she's the favorite, but the 14 hole doesn't do her any favors out there. So I don't think she's going to get to an easy lead. I think there's enough inside speed that will contest her with Take Charge Paula. Heaven Has My Nikki, I think, will go for the lead, and Classy Act. So there's a lot of speed here. Certainly going to use her, and she would be my top pick to win, even though she is in the 14 hole. I think she's that good. But Midnight Bisou, the 10 rather, Eskimo Kiss is a 13. I'm right with you. I thought that race at Keeneland was outstanding for the way she started, and I think she's coming into this race on an uptick. She just got beat by Chocolate Martini. I thought she should have won that race at Fairgrounds. And then the Ashland, if she hadn't had such a bad start and circled on 5 wide, she would have been a lot closer to Monomoy Girl, and I think she will be in this race. I'm also going to throw in a couple that probably are unexpected. I think Wonder Godot or Wonder Godot. We never figured out how to pronounce her name. You're the one who told me it was Wonder Godot because of the Wonder Woman connection. I think she's sitting on a big race. I don't know why. Monomoy Girl handled her easily in the Rachel Alexandra, and I thought she'd win the Fairground Oaks, and Chocolate Martini handled her along with Eskimo Kisses. Just seems like that she's just a couple of steps away from breaking through, and I think at 20-1 here, I think she's got a chance to hit the board, if not really upset them. And then the last one I'm just going to take because the U of L connection and Rick Pitino, the year that the city of Louisville has had with the football team and the basketball team, and at least there's no Mississippi State in here to beat them out. But there is a Coach Pitino horse that could win the Oaks. He's already said he ain't coming. He's going to ride his helicopter over to Gulfstream from his place in Florida. It would be the ultimate irony if Coach Rocks won the Oaks in the year that Louisville has had. So I'm going to put Coach Rocks in there, just thinking that might be bad karma for the city of Louisville. I hope not, but I think she's actually got a little bit of a prayer here for Dale Romans. So I'm going to use a bunch of them. I like Monomoy Girl, but I'm not going to single her.
All right, my pick 4 ticket, I'm going to use 3 in the Alley Sheba, Backyard Heaven, Good Samaritan, Always Dreaming. Going to use all 5 that I mentioned in the middle leg, and it wouldn't be the worst decision if you just took all there, I think. I'm going to single either Rushing Fall or Daddy is a Legend. Rushing Fall's the single if she goes. If not, then I'll single Daddy is a Legend. And then I'm going to use the 4 that I mentioned in the Oaks. How about your pick 4?
Okay, pick 4, I'm going to use 3 horses in the first leg. I'm going to use Good Samaritan, Always Dreaming, and Backyard Heaven. So that's 1, 3, 4. In my pick 4, I am going all in the 9th race because I did my rule of thumb. I had 5 of them picked out. I'm going to go ahead and use all of them, just thinking that might be my shot for a big score. I'm going to single Rushing Fall if she goes as the 11 horse. If she doesn't go, I will not use all in the second leg. I'll use 5 of them. But I'm going to single Rushing Fall. And I'm going 5 deep in the Oaks, trying to get a price here with the 2 Coach Rocks, with the 5 Wonder Godot, with the 10 horse Midnight Bisou, 13 Eskimo Kisses, and 14 Monomoy Girl. So that's 3 by 10 by 1 by 5, which is $75 for 50 cents.
I think I'm gonna. You talked me into it. I'm gonna change on my pick 4 and take all in that second leg because that only makes it since I'm singling in the third, that only makes it a $60 ticket. So I think I will follow your lead there. I think that's good advice because I don't feel real confident that I've definitely got the winner covered in the 5 that I listed. The 7th race, the Grade 3 Turf Sprint, starts a pick 5. So let's talk a little bit about the turf sprint for folks who want to try that pick 5. Who do you like in there?
Yeah, it gets a little bit more expensive when you talk about a pick 5, but the payoffs are tremendous when you start to talk about 5 races on a day like this. So I'm going to go 4 deep in here. I'm going to use Delectation for Wesley Ward, simply because Wesley is so hot right now. He was so good at the Keeneland meet. I'm assuming his hot streak is going to continue. This horse ran the first leg. He only got beat 4 lengths by Zapesa and Hawksmoor, so last October. So this horse, although she's facing a layoff, she's runs under some really good company, Grade 1 and Grade 2 in Germany and Great Britain. So Delectation is one of my picks. I like Vision Perfect a lot, the 7 for Jason Service. Horse is going in the right direction. Ran a 104 buyer at the 5 furlong distance at Gulfstream. Then the 10 Will Call. Didn't like the soft turf at Keeneland. Maybe she won't catch soft turf at Churchill, and she'll get back into form. That 92, 95, 97 buyer figures at Fairgrounds will fit well here. So 10 Will Call. And then I'm going to use the 9 Bochero for Tim Glashaw. Lost to Vision Perfect at Gulfstream, but and caught the soft turf in the Shakertown. So again, if the turf is firm, I think Will Call and Bochero move up some. So I'm going to go 4 deep there. And the only changes I'm going to make if I did a pick 5 to keep it to $100, I would cut down to 1-3 in the second leg and use 2, 4, 5, 6, 10 in the third leg. So I would go 4 by 2 by 5 by single by 5.
Yeah, I like Vision Perfect a lot in the turf sprint. I love that 104 buyer, a big jump up like that last time. And I think there's a ton of speed in here, and he has the ability to sit just off of it. And other than the ones you mentioned, the only one I would throw in there is Sonic Boom within the race as far as playing exactas, tries, etc. I think that horse has some class, and first off the bench, they put him in a turf sprint, I think, in his last start last year, and so this might be where they're going to focus with this horse, and I think he's a classy horse, so I would throw him in as well. But if I was playing a pick 5, I think I'd just single Vision Perfect, and so it wouldn't change the ticket. So if you want to go deeper, I think the way I would rank them, I think after that would be probably Bochero, Sonic Boom, Will Call, and Delectation. But I will just single Vision Perfect for the pick 5. Great day of racing. Saturday will be even better, and we'll be back with another In the Money podcast on that. Jim, we do want to let folks know about advanced wagering if they're listening to us in the Lexington market. What's the plan for advanced wagering?
Okay, here's the story. Everybody wants to bet the Derby on Monday, but they can't do it until Thursday. But we are going to open up advanced wagering at Red Mile only on Thursday. We're open for simulcasting on what Churchill Downs calls Thurby, so we'll be open all day on Thursday. You can advance wager the entire Kentucky Derby card and the entire Oaks card on Thursday at Red Mile only. On Friday and Saturday, we will be open both at Red Mile and at Keeneland. So on Friday, you can, of course, bet the Oaks and the Derby Advance, and on Saturday, bet the Derby. The drive-thrus are open at Keeneland. We encourage people to drive to Red Mile and park your car and get out and walk in. It's a lot quicker than going to the drive-thru, trust me. If you go to the drive-thru and there's a huge line, we've got a deal where you can park in rows 3 through 5 and walk into the track without paying admission if you're walking in to bet and come back out. So we got a lot of ways to bet. Love to have you down to Red Mile to spread out the congestion at Keeneland a little bit. So that's one tip I'll give you. If you're going to bet the Derby and you're going to bet the Oaks, you can bet it at Red Mile a whole lot quicker. If you're going to spend a day, Keeneland is a great place to be on Friday and Saturday.
Best of luck with all your wagers for Oaks Day. And again, we'll be back with a Saturday Derby Day podcast for the In the Money podcast from KeenelandSelect.com.